Here's a screen capture of what we're going for. You can see the banner is at the very top of the page. The banner has two columns, one for the text and the other column has the button or the CTA. To make this work, you'll need to have access to your Help Scout backend area where you can manage your documentation, and there's a custom code section there. And this doc that I'm bringing up is a Help Scout guide that will show you how to do that. Coincidentally, there's a banner on this page right now. The banner that Help Scout provides, that it's built in or comes with Help Scout, was too limited for us. That's why we're using custom code, the custom code solution I'm going to show you today. If you've never added custom code to your Help Scout documentation, make sure you bring up this document and look for the CSS and JavaScript section. I'll add a link to this doc in the video description. Time to check out the code. It's all up on GitHub. I'll add a link for this as well. The Gist has two files, one for CSS and one for JavaScript. So let's start with the JavaScript. The first thing I want to do is to run this code when the document's fully loaded, so when the page is fully loaded. Then I'll create the parent div or container for the columns. Then we got the first column that holds the main text content. Switching back to the screen capture so you could see that. Okay, back to the code. Here's the JavaScript that generates that HTML that we just saw in the screen capture. Then the second column that holds the button. And here's how we want that to look like. Here's the JavaScript that generates that HTML for the button. And when that HTML is built, we add it all to the very top of the document. That's this line here. And when you check out the CSS, you'll see where I make space for that banner. Okay, now this very last section in the code, the JavaScript, is extra credit. I did not want a sticky banner. I wanted a more passive banner so that when you scroll down, it disappears. That's what this does. So let's try this out. I've got a generic web page that has a top menu area with some content. And when I inspect the source in the browser, you could see the div for the menu and for the main body. So you could bring up your code or your HTML in your favorite editor. Here's that generic page. Okay, now let's check out the custom code I want to add to this page. I want to add the JavaScript first. That'll create the HTML for the banner. So I'll bring these two HTML files up side by side. The file on the left is the page. The file on the right is the code. Okay, we're ready to start copying and pasting things over. I'm going to add everything to the head because this is how Help Scout does it in the background when you add custom code. So let's copy that script and paste it into that page in the head section, so between the head tags. And we go back to the browser, we'll see the content is now in there. There's no styling, so let's add that next. Let's add that CSS. So back to the HTML page, the code for that, and back to the head section. Let's make some space for the CSS. Grab the CSS from this other file, the custom CSS we want, copy and paste. So back to the browser, and if you look now, the styling is added, and it looks like the screen capture at the beginning of the video, the one we were going for. And then now we'll see our divs are in there for the banner, the main text content, and the button content. Now let's test the scroll to see if the banner disappears, and it does, and that looks good. Okay, let's reload the page one more time just to make sure, and that looks great.